Hello and welcome to our chat with Castlescapes and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are in the audience, please let us know by giving us a shout out in the live chat. We would love to hear from you and see if you are out there. We discuss everything in the Disney universe. If you haven't already, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post as it really does help us out. So, without further ado, my name is Loren, and I'm here with my cousin and co-pilot, Rich, and there's Cammy with the turtles.
Hey,
And there's two tiny wings. Hello.
hello.
Thank you for joining us. We are just getting started. So, oh, yay, Mary. Hello, Mary. How are you? We are going to have an interesting discussion today. Uh, we're going to, hello, Laura. How are you? And Ryan.
Hello.
We're going to be talking about the Spider Man No Way Home trailer at the end of our discussion. So, as always, Rich and I go round robin and with some smaller topics, and then we go into our bigger topics. So, anyway, without further ado, Rich, how are you?
I am good. How are you
Good.
doing?
And there's Mary. Hey, Mary, just the tears. I'm doing well. I just wanted to make a quick introduction because it is International Dog Day.
Yay!
Here's my baby, Mary Poppins, Lady of Cherry Tree Lane, herself. Poppins,
She looks
say
star.
hello to
She looks
everybody.
like she has stage fright, or
I
like
know
she's just like,
she's like, what is happening?
what is going on?
Sort of. Yeah. Okay, you go, Dad. You go ahead. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah,
How is everything?
it's good. So I got my magic key yesterday.
Yes.
So I bought the dream, so the highest level.
Yeah.
And so it actually did go. Like it's funny because like the whole it took me 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
So they went on sale at 10 o'clock California time, but it didn't actually happen at 10 o'clock. And I was working, so I was actually in a meeting, and I had to present, so I couldn't keep checking. And then by the time I got into the queue, I think it's around 10:30. I
Yeah.
then waited in that queue for until like 4:30, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's that crazy, and but you got it on open day.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, it really didn't matter. I mean, I could have got it today, but then I did go yesterday, last night after work. I just wanted to see what it was like.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So you could have gone. Yeah, you went last night.
Yeah. So it's like I can tell people weren't used to what having that, because just getting into the parking structure took a little
Mm-hmm.
bit longer, because I think because people bought the keys, they went over there, but they've never really done, like, when you go there with your annual pass, you have a physical pass that they
Yeah.
take. It's never been on your phone, and I think it was a lot of people just going like, "Oh wait, hold on, let me get my phone out and
Right.
scroll to what you need to scroll to and whatever."
Yeah.
So it took a took a little bit to get in,
Nice.
but it's funny because like during the day I was curious, so I kept checking the app to see what the wait times were, and they're all pretty low. In fact, like the virtual queues were available well past what they normally would go for. Like Rise Resistance usually is the boarding pass at the virtual queue thing that goes like that, right?
Yeah.
At 12:30, 1 o'clock, you can still get a Rise Resistance boarding pass yesterday.
I heard that. I heard some person saying that you could even walk on, like that they were allowing people to. actually walk on
To
to the to Rise of the Resistance.
um maybe.
That's what I heard. Before we go too far, I wanted to say hi to Kel, Karen, and DC. And if I missed
Hello.
anybody, I apologize. So anyway, yeah, I heard that you could just walk right in.
I know for web slingers,
Hmm.
it was very different when I went because I was waiting for a friend, and then when we got there, we got our virtual queue for web slingers, and this is like at 6 something at this point.
Yeah.
Um, so we got in, but like in the past, like even like last weekend, the line for web slingers. So even if you get a virtual queue, you still get into the actual queue, and then that thing wraps around a lot. Like I think when I went, it was like a 45-minute line still to get in. Um,
Mhm.
and so yesterday I went, with my film stuff. I was gonna take, film of the queue itself. Yesterday my boarding pass was called and we just walked right in, so I didn't even
Yeah.
get any of the actual queue footage. So,
Okay. Good.
but yeah, it was, I want to say empty, but it was still busy, and I
Hmm.
think, um, it's just a weird time still because I'm not sure why it seems busy because the parking lots are still not full, and I've been there when the parking lots are full, and
Yeah.
that's it. I think it has to do with a lot of people wanting to stay outside of
Right.
like buildings and rides and stuff because the mask thing. So I think it just looks like there's more people because more people are just out and about instead of in queues or whatnot. So, but like wait times are still, like we went on Space Mountain, it was like a 20-minute wait, you know,
Hmm. That's awesome.
um, and things like that. So, um, yeah.
Um, Mary said that she loved her Disneyland vlog today and got her excited for her trip.
Yeah,
You're coming to Disneyland, Mary? Yay!
nice.
And Allie is asking, can you put the pass on your Apple Watch?
Can you, if you can, I'm assuming yes, if you can put normal tickets on your Apple Watch. I don't have one,
I don't know.
so I don't know. I'm waiting. Actually, I'm waiting for September because that's when I think the new Apple Watches and stuff come out. That's will announce the new iPhone and stuff. And I've been wanting to get an Apple Watch, but I've been waiting for September when the new ones comes out. So
Mhm.
once I get one, I'll check. Or actually, my brother-in-law and sister
Yeah.
have Apple Watches, so we'll see if because they also got the key. So we'll see.
Yeah, let us know if you can
I
use
will
it.
find out.
We don't have at Disneyland, at least not yet, the same kind of tappy tap thing that
Oh,
you
the
have
Magic Band
at,
thing.
yeah, at
Yeah,
Walt
yeah.
Disney World. And so it, it might be different, but yeah, I'd be curious to know if if it would be cool. And Karen also liked your vlog
Oh,
today,
thank
Rich.
you. I have
So,
one coming soon.
yeah,
Another one from yesterday. So
yes, we're now that the magic keys are a thing. Rich should be able to do more reporting from the parks. So
yeah. So I'll have the one from the first day of Magic Key, and the next week there's a whole bunch of like Magic Key holder things going on at the park.
mhm.
So I'll be there to see what that's about.
He lives one exit away from me.
Yes, that's literally
One
like
exit.
it's like 5 minutes away.
I wish I lived 5 minutes away.
I mean, also, I every night I now it's weird because like for a year and a half at 9 o'clock it was quiet, but now
Oh,
every day it's the fireworks. I can hear it from here. I can actually kind of see it a little bit from here,
yeah.
like the tippy
Hi,
top.
Christine. Okay, let's go ahead and go into our topics now so that we can get into the juicy trailer. Um, so, anyway, the first thing that I have down is that there was a first look at the art of the newly reimagined Splash Mountain with the Princess and the Frog theme. And they had some artwork that they put up there. You might be seeing all these turtle emojis in
I
the
did
chat.
notice.
That is because in the Two Tiny Wings uh, live, we were talking about this very thing, and there is a turtle animatronics. Anyway, they look like, um, you know, from Splash Mountain, which stands for reason. And people just started putting those turtle emojis, and it's funny. And something about turtle nuggets, and you'd have to be there. It was hilarious.
Nice.
Anyway, I thought that looks really cool. I cannot wait until the ride opens. I will actually ride it because normally I don't ride it because I don't want to get wet. But I
Right?
will. I will get wet for this.
Did you watch? Is this? Did you watch the? There was a video with a bunch of the like Imagineers and stuff that worked on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No.
during that whole thing, I was like, man, I'm the same. Like, I'm past the point where I enjoy water rides,
Hmm.
but like the more they talk about it, I'm like, am I gonna have to ride this ride all the time?
I know, right? Right.
To buy a
I think
poncho
so.
and bring like socks,
Yeah, I know. But yeah,
have to
new
change.
stock. Pretty much. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Hey, Jean Claire. Um, yeah, I think that at least for the first several weeks, I think we're going to be riding this ride quite a bit. And
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait. I love the music to the film, and I think
Oh
it's
yeah.
just going to be just a toe tapper.
It also like if you watch the video. So this video is on the Disney Parks
Disney Park channel.
channel.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, but it made me want to. I mean, I've always wanted to go to New Orleans,
Hmm.
but now I really want to go to New Orleans.
I know it's on my bucket list of things to
Right?
do.
Yeah.
I want to go. Olivia, my sister went,
Oh yeah.
and she had a really great time.
Yeah. But like it, the way they talk, it makes it sound like it's not just a kind of like reskin, but they're adding a lot of different like technology into the ride.
Hmm.
So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what that means and the whole Mardi Gras ending. Like, I want to see
Yeah,
where the drop is incorporated into that story. Like,
yeah,
why?
that's what I want to know too. It's like, why is there a drop? But I'm sure that they'll,
Oh, come
tell
up
us
with
that.
something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Jean Leclerc wears ponchos and flip flops to avoid the wet spots.
I feel like I have to buy Crocs or something now.
Yeah, yeah, Crocs. There you go. That's the way to go.
I don't know. It's like they don't look comfortable, but
I know.
I don't know. Like, does anyone wear Crocs? Are they are
They
they
look like
comfortable?
your feet look sweat.
Yeah, right.
That, yeah. So I don't know. Um. All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and talk about your first topic?
What is my first topic?
The gallery.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, oh my God, the sun. Um, the on Disney Plus, their gallery, which usually is their pretty much their behind the scenes of the Mandalorian show, they
Hmm.
aired, and because they came out with one for season 2, and I remember going like they didn't say anything about the finale of season 2. Um,
Yeah.
so if you haven't seen the finale of season 2 of the Mandalorian, my whole topic is going to be about the ending of that.
Yeah. Maybe come back in a few minutes
So
and
come
tell
back in a
me.
few minutes if you don't want to be
Unless you were
spoiled.
under a rock, though. I mean, I think if you were remotely interested in this series.
right?
probably what happened.
So so come back in like 5 minutes. But so warning, spoiler warning. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The end of season 2 had the return of Luke Skywalker, right? Um, and not just you know Luke Skywalker from the sequels. Like this is Return of the Jedi era Luke Skywalker, which was a kind of a surprise, but not a surprise to everybody. It was one of those things where he was a possibility to show up, but no one wanted to believe it until that episode. And they didn't have anything about it in their making of season 2,
Yeah.
and it's because they wanted to maintain the secrecy. So they have a whole episode about the finale, which debuted this week. And I just found it interesting because a lot of people were, because they had like, what technology did they use to bring Luke there? I mean, it was definitely confirmed that Mark Hamill was on set and he was there, dressed up in the old outfit. There's footage of him holding Grogu for the first time, and all these kind of things. But then there was another actor who also played him, his body double, and things. But like, did they? It's a big debate. Did they de-age him like they did in the Marvel movies to Michael Douglas and Robert Downey Jr. and stuff, or did they use deepfake? And it looks like it was they toyed with a notion of everything, right?
Yeah.
And what surprised me is that they did look into deepfake, because a lot of people think that would have worked better, right? I mean, I didn't have a problem with whatever it was, but they went with a de-aging ish process instead. And they talked about like what's interesting. They spent a lot of time about responsibility and how the deepfake technology could be used, could be abused, right?
Yeah.
So, I found that kind of interesting. Did you watch it before?
No, I haven't gotten to watch it yet. So
It's
I wanted to watch it, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet.
And then so they did that, but also his voice is not really Mark Hamill's voice because Mark Hamill sounds way older now, right? So they kind of did a similar effect where they just took basically they entered all this footage and sound bites of Mark Hamill from his younger years, put it into a program, and that's what's talking.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. So
so
it's a combination
of.
It
doesn't sound choppy at all. It does not sound choppy.
No. Like, but it's amazed me that just for that scene, there is so many pieces. Like Mark Hamill was there, and then his body double, the guy who plays him as the younger version, who does all the twirly stuff.
Yeah.
But they mimicked each other. They filmed everything like a bunch of times. They had Mark in a scanner, so he did his scene. Then they had to go to a scanner and do it again. And then it was crazy, but like
that's incredible.
And then another thing that's interesting is that they kept it secret from everybody, right? You know how like the story about Empire Strikes Back, the whole "I'm your father" spoiler.
Yeah.
Like it was always in the script. It was Obi-Wan. It was like Obi-Wan killed your father. Blah 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 blah. In this script, the original Jedi that was going to come to save or take Grogu was Plo Koon, not Luke. In fact, they even had mock-ups of like Plo Koon, and then in some of the daily shots, they inserted Plo Koon's face onto it, so people would not know that it was Mark Hamill. Like it was the most minimal crew on the day Mark Hamill was there, so they were able to maintain that secret because everything else got out. Like Rosario Dawson, Boba Fett, all that kind of stuff was already leaked, so they wanted to keep Luke. Yeah.
Just quickly, hello Danielle and Ben, and hello Melissa, and hello Random Fandom. And Jean Claire says that that really confused me because now I don't know where the timeline we are in the Mandalorian. You wanna?
So the Mandalorian takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So the Luke you're seeing in the Mandalorian is 5 years after the events of that. So that's why he's a little more skilled with a lightsaber because like they also took care into making sure that his fighting style seemed like something he would be able to do a little bit after Return of the Jedi. So it's a lot of two-handed fighting, you know. Um, and they played around with whether or not they wanted to change his outfit, but they felt like putting him in the Return of the Jedi outfit kind of places him near that era, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is the last kind of, for a lot of people, the last kind of memory of that Luke. So, but yeah, the Mandalorian takes place just a couple years after Return of the Jedi. So this is way like 25 years before Force Awakens.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it for sure.
Yeah, and then they also go into everything else like this is story, and then there's a big R2 section, and then the music about it. So it's definitely well worth the watch if you've not watched it yet.
Yeah. Bye, Cammy. All right, let's go to the next story, which is that Disney Plus has ordered a 10 episode series called Nautilus, which is inspired by the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's going to be a young Captain Nemo. And I put this on here because I know, Rich, you are a big fan of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers,
Yeah,
C. And this is another thing that kind of points us to C, I think.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's definitely the thing with especially the Nautilus seems like it would fit into that world. So now I'm wondering then if Captain Nemo is going to be part of the story, because all the other characters are, well, I mean, Captain Nemo is also fiction, but you know what I mean. Like the all the characters in C are Disney made,
Yeah.
right? Um, but I mean, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Melissa says that that's so impressive, Rich, about your Star Wars knowledge. I know next to nothing about Star Wars, LOL, and then says hashtag never seen it. And then let's see, Jean Claude says now that makes sense. So Ahsoka is older because she was introduced in the Clone Wars and before.
Yeah, I mean, like if you think like Ahsoka is spiritually Luke and Leia's older, or like aunt, because like it felt more like Anakin and Ahsoka were brother and sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ahsoka would essentially be spiritually their auntie, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I'm still hoping that there's a story where they meet at some point, because that'd be
Yeah,
kind of a cool connection for Luke and Leia to have to the Anakin that they never got to know.
yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say on behalf of this new series that's coming out? That's like from it being exciting.
Like so when I went to Disneyland, they closed off the Finding Nemo ride. Um, and I would not be upset if they returned back to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea
Yeah, I
or
know.
something. I can't
Oh,
remember. Like, is it Disneyland or was it Florida that had the 20,000 Leagues version?
uh, Disneyland. Oh wait, well, both
Did they
Disneyland
both
and
have it?
Walt Disney
I
World
can't remember because I remember
had it.
writing it as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I just can't remember if it was both parks or one park.
Yeah, it was both parks, and then uh, Walt Disney World like just got rid of that whole Lagoon. I think that's where the
Okay.
speedway went.
Oh, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and anybody that's
From
Walt
Florida.
Disney World going. And then ours is obviously Nemo now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
Um,
it's totally closed off, and like they have like you can't even see, like they have it curtained off or whatever.
yeah. Oh, Melissa said that she'd never seen 20,000 Leagues, not Star Wars.
Oh,
That
is it on Disney Plus?
makes sense. I think it is actually. I
I have to
haven't
go
seen
check
it.
because I haven't seen
I've
it in forever.
I've been going through like unappreciated
I noticed.
animated
Yeah, yeah.
features, and I think at one point I will graduate to live action film. So
You know,
I
see, are
definitely want to put that on my
you gonna watch
list.
all the young Kurt Russell movies?
All the computer wore tennis shoes. He was in quite a few. Quite a
He was a pretty big like Disney star
yeah.
when he was younger,
He's a legend.
and now he's ego.
Oh, okay. Mary says that it's worse. Seven Dwarfs and Ariel is now. That's
Oh
what they call new
man, I
fantasy.
can't even imagine. Like, can't even imagine what that would look like in that
Yeah,
area. But yeah,
so crazy. Yeah, DC. I totally agree. There's so many good live action films from the '60s and '70s.
well, I remember my favorites from when I was growing up were the Witch Mountain
Yeah,
movies.
I still, like I watched it, and yeah, it's a little long in the tooth, but I still enjoy it.
I mean, that's the way films were back then, and
Right?
it's just I don't know.
Before Kim Richards was a
Before,
Real Housewife.
yeah, that's so weird when I found that out. That
I know.
she was on that show. I'm like, wait,
I
what?
remember when that show, when it first came out, I was like, wait a minute, is that the girl from Witch Mountain? Anyway. All right, well, let's move on to the next topic. Just because I wanted to try to get to Spider Man
Right, right, right.
sooner rather than later.
Just really quick on the Star Wars collector news. Is that Hasbro? So Hasbro has this almost like a Kickstarter thing going, where they create a bunch of toys that would never ever work in mass market. So they do these things where it's like, all right, here's this awesome thing. If you back it, then you get it, but only if they reach a certain milestone will they actually put it in production, and they only make enough of it for all the backers and probably a handful of extras. So you can't buy it in stores or whatever. So the first one they did was Jabba's sail barge, which yeah, they couldn't really mass market a $400 toy. Like it would just sit on shelves because no one would buy it. So it's always these big things. Like if it was so far, it's been Jabba's sail barge, Unicron from the Transformers, uh, a Sentinel from Marvel, and then Galactus is their newest one,
Yeah.
which just got funded. So it's going into production, and I have 3 days to decide whether or not I want to get it.
Get it. Get
Because,
it.
and this is the reason why I didn't, because I knew there was a Star Wars one coming. So in fall they're going to announce, or they've already announced what it is. So it's going to be the next HasLab project is the uh, Rancor
Yeah.
from Return of the Jedi, and when I say Rancor and the toy, this will be a 6-inch scale Rancor, which means this thing is going to be massively, massively tall. So,
I know. I just want to visit it. Really, that's why I want to get it.
but like,
I want to see
when they
it.
do these things, it's usually here's the main thing, and then they have stretch goals like Kickstarter does and stuff, right? So, like the last Star Wars one was a Razor Crest, and the
Yeah.
stretch goals were like, and then the first stretch goals we give you a new sculpt of the Mandalorian with Baby Grogu, and then like all these like carbonite things or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Rancor one, I'm hoping that we get like a Gamorrean guard and like Ula, the slave girl that gets eaten, or something cool like that. But
Hmm.
so that's what it's gonna be like. So now I'm like, I don't know if I have enough financial. Well, I do, but like if I want to part ways with that much money, because these things are usually like 300-400 bucks each,
Yeah.
right? The Razor Crest is $400. Galactus is $400. I'm gonna assume the Rancor is gonna be at least $300. So, um, yeah, I don't know, but I'm more inclined to get the Rancor than Galactus because I mostly collect Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Even though
I don't want you to get
I've
Galactus.
grown my Marvel collection, so now I'm kind of both. But
Yeah.
today, so the Galactus one, um, they announced, well, they teased what the two stretch goals were, and one of them, they're both heralds of Galactus. So the first one is Nova, and then the second one is Silver Surfer, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it's just cool looking.
It is so cool.
It's almost like 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
This thing, right?
That's amazing.
So I don't know. I
Do
have a
it.
feeling I'm
Do
going to,
it.
but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. People are talking about the Finding Nemo ride and it being claustrophobic. Pro tip: if you feel panic and claustrophobic, you can ask to go in the disabled viewing area and still get the experience of riding it without actually being shoved into a submarine. So,
Huh.
yay! And yes, Ugly Bug Ball, love that song. Burr Lives. Okay, I'm gonna go move on to the next one, which is gonna be very quick. But apparently, Disney, and I saw it, they came out with a new ad for the Oogie Boogie Bash
Oh yeah.
at Disneyland, at Disney California Adventure, and they teased Sid, Cruella, the film Cruella one, and Agatha Harkness as villains that will be going. And I didn't buy tickets.
I
I could have a picture with Agatha Harkness, and I can't now.
we bought tickets.
Oh man! All right, well you have to take pictures of Agatha Harkness for me
Well, yeah, yeah. Um,
because I need to see what she looks like.
yeah, I
And
have. Um, it's cool. Like I'm excited to actually to see what they do with Agatha at the park.
yeah,
Um, Cruella, you kind of know already.
yeah,
The weird one to me was Sid. I'm like, really?
that is an interesting one, and I'm curious to
Right?
see if
How
they'll
they?
have him as a face character or a, as some people call them, fur characters, which is a non-face, which is what I call non-face.
Interesting.
Yeah, so very cool. So you're gonna just have to let me know about Agatha. I hope that we'll see her in Avengers Campus or around there.
Yeah.
I had heard rumors that Wanda and Vision were supposed to be there when it first opened. So I'm hoping. I'm surprised that they don't have them there, honestly,
Me
or at
too.
least Wanda.
At least Wanda would be the easy one.
Yeah,
Um,
Vision would be a little bit harder, but
yeah.
they could still do it.
I mean, they
They
could.
can do Gamora. They can do.
Well, I
They
mean,
can.
like they put in TVA Loki, so if you put in WandaVision Vision as like one of the normal looking like 70s Vision, or even
Yeah,
if they did Halloween episode Vision, that'd be kind of
yeah.
cool. But yeah, I think like Scarlet Witch, Wanda would be. I mean, they're gonna have Agatha
Yeah.
that exists, and they can do that. You know, like yesterday we were there, and I've seen like different versions of Loki. And then yesterday they actually had like movie Loki, like the with the horns back and
Hmm.
stuff. So, you know, I yeah, I don't know. Like I hope one day there's a Scarlet Witch, at least.
Yeah, me too. And and Agatha.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Agatha all along. All right, that was pretty much all I wanted to say.
Right now. Um, the last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into Spider-Man is that you know they're filming Obi-Wan Kenobi in Los Angeles right now, and then you know the big thing about Obi-Wan is that Hayden Christensen is in the cast, right?
Yep.
And so, you know, the question has always been like, all right, well, it's cool to have him in, but was it necessary if he's just going to be behind a mask as Vader the whole time?
Hmm.
But like pictures and reports have surfaced that there's a reason why Hayden is cast because we're going to see Vader without his mask.
Mm.
So I know I don't want to spoil too much, and everything I've seen has been kind of renderings of what has been reported. But like, we're going to see Hayden without the mask is basically what they're saying. So that's gonna be kind of cool because we almost got a glimpse in Rogue One, right? That one scene where he's like in a back to tank or something, right? And you
Mhm.
see like the back or like a small sliver, but I think we're gonna get full on back to Vader,
Yeah.
which
Wow.
would be kind of cool if we see him in the back to tank. Then it kind of
Uh,
mirrors what Luke went through in Empire Strikes Back, right? In the first movie where they first meet, like we see Luke in the back to tank after his, you know, incident with the Wampa. So it'd be kind of
yeah.
cool to see the bookends of that.
That's yeah. That will be really cool.
So,
I
but
can't wait.
but yeah, that is. I'm you know like, I'm still in the camp that Hayden is a good actor. Uh, you know, just had clunky dialogue in
I
the
think he was a
prequels.
good actor. I think that the direction that he was given was not
Yeah,
good. That's all I'll say.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing what both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen as those roles again will be like under the direction of Deborah Chow.
Hmm. Yes.
Right. So,
Yeah, she's a really good director too. She directed a bunch of Mandalorian episodes.
mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and move into Jean Claire needs to watch World One again. Let's move into Spider Man, and it was the worst kept secret in all of all of the internet. Everybody was, tweeting about the new trailer, and there were leaks that were
Yeah,
out there that Sony was trying to put out fires and try to get them shut down. And it was an intense day
yeah. Did
where
you
everybody was wondering if it would actually happen.
did you see the leaked version of it?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
didn't
want to look.
either. I didn't want to. I like because like as soon as I heard there was a leak, I'm like,
Yeah,
because I think it happened before.
yeah.
I can't remember which movie it was. It might have been Avengers.
Hmm.
One of the Avengers, I think. It might have been Age of Ultron, but I don't remember. But it happened again. It happened before, and I remember, you know, they quickly had to, again, like release something. So
Hmm.
as soon as I heard that there was a leaked trailer and it was like confirmed that it's the trailer, I'm like, oh well, they're gonna have to come out with it
They're gonna have to,
in the next
yeah,
day or so. So I'm just gonna wait till the HD 4K good
yeah.
version
Because
of it.
who wants to watch a leaked one? Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, and yeah. So, what did you think of the trailer?
I have so many theories and yet so many questions.
Right, right. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I mean, like as a trailer, it definitely. I mean, look, I'm built in, right? I'm gonna see it no matter what. But like, it's definitely not what I thought it was gonna be. I don't even know what I thought it was gonna be, but it's definitely. But it's like it should have been something I knew was gonna happen
Hmm.
because we've known kind of Doctor Strange is going to be in it, so there is a history in the comics of Peter Parker going to Doctor Strange for help with his identity. So,
Yeah,
um,
and I was actually though still trying to figure out how they're going to use Doctor Strange in this,
yeah,
and it's obviously answered the question. Lots of people saying, "Why would Doctor Strange do this?" What do you think? Do you think this is something that he would have done, or do you think that this is totally out of character for
I don't think it's him. I think it's either a variant or it's not him because
him? Mephisto.
which also has ties to
It
the
is,
comic.
yeah,
like like
it is.
again more like I don't know, like again there was like a picture of Peter with the devil horns or whatever, so obviously people are gonna grab onto Mephisto again, but I'm like, is it Mephisto?
It could be.
Because like
It
when you
could actually be the child.
and like when you see Benedict Cumberbatch, he doesn't look like Doctor Strange. Like there's I mean, besides the fact he's wearing a puffy jacket and sweatpants, with the cloak, which I want that figure. I don't care. Like I want Hoth Doctor Strange as a figure. But like, there's
Yeah.
something about him that seems off, right? And this is Marvel, so it's not like they went backwards and like his hair looks a little weird, and there's just something
Yeah.
about him that looks off. Where I'm like, is it him? Because
Was he
he's
wearing some kind of parka looking
yeah, he's wearing
outfit as
because like
well?
for
I don't know
whatever
why it
reason,
was snowing in there.
like yeah, I don't know why it's snowing in there. Like, did they not fix the hole that the Hulk made in the roof?
Yeah. DC says there's actually merit to Mephisto again.
Right?
For those who are wondering what this Mephisto thing is about, anybody who watched WandaVision, the big theory was that Mephisto, who is the devil basically in the Marvel universe, uh, was the one pulling the strings in WandaVision, and it never happened. And so now, because of the comics and that Mephisto did help Peter Parker, it could be Mephisto. Or is it a Mysterio illusion? Who knows?
I mean, I think what we're seeing in the trailer is because there's a lot of Doctor Strangey stuff with the whole reality thing, right? The whole Inception reality thing that harkens
Mhm.
back to the original Doctor Strange movie. And I think a lot of those scenes are just him explaining the universe, kind of like how the Ancient One explained the astral plane and stuff to Doctor Strange, or in the
Yeah,
first movie, right? But like, I don't know, like after all the events that happened, I feel he wouldn't be as so carefree about spells, especially when Wong again is like, "Don't do this,"
yeah. That's why
right?
it's
I mean, like
see,
it is also a trailer, so all that stuff could be taken out of context. Like Wong could
right.
be talking about like, "Don't make a peanut butter jelly sandwich spell," and
Yeah,
that's like a jokey thing before he goes on vacation to Shang Chi or whatever he's going, right? So it might
yeah.
not even be in relation to the spell that Peter Parker is trying to get from him. But I don't know.
Right.
It just like the whole scene with him just seemed off to me. So I don't think it's him,
It's hard to say because I also think that he's just arrogant enough to do it.
which is also true.
Um,
Yeah,
huh?
which is also true.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll find out, I guess,
We'll find out in
whether it is
December.
Doctor Strange or Mephisto
It's both.
or somebody else.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, what do you think of the whole Peter Parker in trouble kind of sequences in the trailer where he, um, is in trouble with the law because people think that he killed Mysterio, or J. Jonah Jameson is announcing that he did.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I mean, like
and
it makes sense that he would be, but like that's why my whole thing about that coming out, I'm like he has the Avengers on his side. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I can't see him going through that whole thing alone when you have
the
the
Avengers on his
collective
side.
minds of the Avengers. And like even though Cap's gone, I mean like Banner is still there. Hawkeye's still around. The Pims are around.
Yeah,
Wakanda is there. Like I'm sure they have lawyers. So it's like
yeah.
I can't buy. It'd be weird if like they all just abandon him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm wondering how that's going to be resolved, and how much of that happens before Peter Parker does his freak out and goes to see. Because obviously he's running around, so he's not like he's in jail. So
Yeah,
so I don't know. Like I think we're just getting the beginning of that movie, and then everything else that happens after that is just craziness because of everything else we see in that trailer.
yeah. Who knows? Um, okay, so let's go ahead and talk about all the insanity at the end of this trailer, which is first comes the uh, bomb, the Green Goblin bomb, the pumpkin bomb,
Yep.
and electricity, lightning. What else did we see? Uh,
There, I've seen a lot of people freeze frame pieces of it, and it looks like some of that, like it's when you see the electricity come down and whatever in some scenes, and then there's like this a lot of
Sam.
dust, yeah,
Yeah,
and it seemed to be forming something. So
right.
there's talk that maybe it's also Sandman in there.
And then obviously Doc Ock at the
Yeah,
end,
which
which was so awesome. I mean, we all knew he was going to be in this movie,
right.
but just to have it confirmed and like actually happening
Is
is just so bonkers nutsoid that I'm just so like excited to see what is going to be happening.
yeah.
It's too crazy.
Like, what goblin are we getting? Are we getting is Willem Dafoe in this movie,
I hope it is. I hope it's Willem Dafoe.
and not
But I
uh,
hope that they fix his like. I hope that they,
the mask?
yeah, that they kind of retro uh fit that whole
Yeah, because I mean, like,
aspect.
if we're seeing variants of those characters, because when you see Doc Ock, like, where in that story does he all of a sudden appear here? Because at the end of spoiler alert for Spider-Man 2 from
Mm-hmm.
a decade ago, uh, he doesn't die a villain. Like he realizes things, so he's kind of like he realizes what he's done. So it's not like he's evil, but we're seeing something like, are we seeing an evil Doc Ock? right? And
Yeah.
where does he come from? It could be another, like the whole thing with Loki and what the whole thing with the timeline is like it's not one universe. It's a whole bunch of universes in a timeline,
Yeah.
right? So maybe they're plucking another version of Doc Ock that just happens to be the same look as Alfred Molina's version from the Tobey Maguire ones, which could
Hmm.
explain why, if we do see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, why they can be a little bit different than what we knew from their movies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Uh, DC says so. Maybe we're getting a multiversal Sinister Six. It can't be any worse than the Sinister Six I saw on Broadway in Spider
Oh
Man
my lord.
Turn Off the Dark.
Is that who was in that show? In the Broadway show? The Sinister Six?
I guess. I haven't seen the Broadway show, so that's funny. And then Tills Pops is coming in and saying,
Hello.
dropping in to show some love. And Hackman says, "My gadget, hello. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming." Um, yeah. Now I want to see the the Broadway show
I'm
just to
curious
see
now.
the
Like
just
what?
to see the Sinister Six.
Like the only thing I remember about the Broadway thing was like the Spider-Man kept getting injured or something.
Uh huh.
Like the stories about how it was like dangerous. I'm like, okay,
It's so funny.
but yeah, I'm curious to see who else we're gonna see
Yeah,
in this.
I am too. Apparently, this was broke records as
Yeah,
the Marvel things do. Uh, and this obviously broke records. People watching it, I think there was a lot of excitement. Whoever leaked it, and maybe it was somebody at Sony, because it did generate so much excitement for this trailer.
yeah.
Um, did a good job. The food cat is here. Hello.
Hello.
And anyway, but yeah, there's that. And also Sony at Cinecon. Is that what it's called? Cinecon or CinemaCon?
I think it's CineCon. The
Yeah,
CinemaCon sounds like it's a Cinnabon
yeah, it does. Uh,
convention.
they announced the official name of the Sony Spider Verse, and that is Sony's Spider-Man Universe. And I don't know why they just don't go with Sony Spider Verse. Like, what is the?
Well, because the other way it was, like, there was no inkling that Spider-Man was going to show up in a Venom movie or Mobius or whatever. Even though they brought in Vulture in somewhere, right?
Yeah,
And this is where this topic gets interesting because there's a lot of people saying that this might be Spider-Man's exit from the MCU proper and into his own Spider-Man universe. This is why they announced it's a Spider-Man universe because he's never been part of just that universe. He's always been
yeah,
part of the MCU, and there's really been very little connection between the Spider-Verse movies and Tom Holland.
yeah,
So that might be this whole thing might be also just a way, like the way to fix all this is that he's zapped into the Sony Spider-Man universe,
right.
where then you can have him, um, in a movie with Venom and Carnage and Mobius and whoever else they want to do,
Yeah,
right? Or it could just mean that they're going to bring Tom Holland into those movies. That's kind of separate from the Marvel Studios stuff, like totally separate from the Marvel Studios stuff. So
that might be what they're trying to do here with the Spider Verse stuff in the MCU, is to make it so that he can go back and forth between, but still be, like there are two different variants of him that could potentially exist. Um, DC went right after previews started again, and he met the actor who fell 40 feet.
Oh my
Whoa!
god, 40 feet.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I'm curious, like, is the whole show bad?
I know. Yeah, let us know. Let us know your thoughts, DC. I would like to know
I mean,
how bad.
truth be told, if you say it's good or bad, I'm still curious
Yeah,
about what it is.
I really want a pro shot production of the show so I can see it.
Put it on Disney Plus,
Yeah, on Disney Plus.
like Hamilton,
Happen.
and then Turn Off the Dark.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So the only other part of this that we have, and maybe you can lead us in this discussion,
Yeah.
is that Hasbro has revealed the No Way Home Legends line.
Yeah, so they had a Marvel Legends live today, which is where they reveal the next figures in the Marvel line, and they had the whole series of. I'm hoping it's the first wave of the No Way Home figures, and what's interesting is that there's 3 different Spider-Man figures. Right, there's his regular one that you kind of see mostly in the trailer, but then he's in the trailer. You see him in 2 other suits, like his Iron Spider suit, right,
Yeah.
which they're calling the integrated suit,
Oh, is that what that is?
something like that. And then there's the brief scene where he's wearing a black and gold suit, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's not like the symbiote Venom suit.
Mhm.
So I don't know, and it's not his spider monkey or whatever the night monkey suit from the last movie. So I don't know what that's about,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna get all 3. But then they also had a news Doctor Strange, so obviously. But the other figure I'm really excited about is J. Jonah Jameson.
Is he the bald version?
J.K. Simmons, yeah, it looks like the bald version of him. So I am excited to have that version of him. And also in that line is a Miles Morales from the video games thing. So, but I thought it was interesting that there's 3 different Spider-Man suits in this movie, and I wonder how that all plays out, because we see mostly his suit he had at the end of the last movie, but then he goes back to the Iron Spider suit at some point, and then for whatever reason he's wearing a black and gold version, so I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, that would be interesting. DC says that Spider-Man After Dark was not horrible. It wasn't the best show he saw. It was $75 million worth of spectacle.
Oh my god,
And,
$75 million.
Yeah, $75 million. And Jean Claire said, "I was not paying attention, but I heard Hamilton." She was just in a box swap, a Hamilton box swap. She got a whole bunch of cool stuff, and anybody that's a Hamilton fan needs to watch her video, because she got all these stickers, and she literally performed the whole show with stickers.
Nice.
I was having a good time, so definitely check out Jean Claire's being a Jean Claire channel. All right,
Very
so
cool.
who does this build?
Oh, Armadillo,
Oh, okay,
which I'm like,
Okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting villain to.
but like I'm like, that's a very interesting for this line So now I'm still hoping that we get a second line with Doc Ock. Well, I'm hoping to build a figure for the next line or next wave is Doc Ock,
Hmm.
and then we get Electro, Green Goblin, um, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. That
Yeah,
hasn't. That's still one of those
that would be awesome.
rumors. Like there's different news things about them, but nothing's been officially confirmed until I see that on an official thing.
I'm sure that they're not going to do that
December
until
17th.
yeah, until then, like with all the Grogu stuff, and
Yeah,
we had to wait forever to get that. John Cole said, "Yeah, not how not to sing Hamilton. You did great."
yeah.
Um, yeah, Armadillo though is interesting. He was in a he was a supporting character in the Spider Woman series
Mm.
that when it first came out, where she had her new costume, and he was actually a very interesting figure on there because he was working for her,
Huh.
and I thought that that was really interesting. So I'm curious to see this build a figure.
I know. I was looking at it just going like, I feel like it could have been a Rhino,
Yeah,
but who knows what they go through and when they're planning these things. But I definitely do hope that this is not the only No Way Home wave.
yeah,
So, because I would like to get some of the other villains, like a new Green Goblin would be cool.
hmm
A Sandman, Electro. So,
yeah. I want to get more villains, not all Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like I would love to get something other than just Spider.
yeah,
That's why I find the armadillo so interesting because we never had an armadillo.
yeah.
So,
So,
but it would be interesting to see if he's actually in this movie. Like, why did they
no,
choose?
because the line also has some other figures that's not related to Spider-Man or like the movie. Like I said, Miles Morales is in it, but it's the video game
I
version of Miles Morales. But then also, I can't remember who it is. It looks like it's not Mobius, but it looks like him. I can't
yeah,
remember. I think Shriek is the other one.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so like while they're ties, it's not related to the movie. So I don't know
Gotcha.
what else. They they tend to do that sometimes with lines where they mix like the main part of it is the movie. Like when the Shang-Chi figures, it's like four figures, but then there's like two or three others that have nothing to do with the movie whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah. All it means is more money from my wallet and
yeah. Pretty
me
much.
figuring out what to do with the display behind me.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So
All right. Well, anything else you want to say about Spider-Man?
um I don't know. Like I'm happy we got a trailer,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many things Marvel coming out in the next couple months that's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
because Hasbro also showed the Eternals line, and they're all
Mhm.
there. Um, and the build a figure for the Eternals line is Gilgamesh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
Okay.
they're all there. So
Yeah.
again, more figures. I'm just gonna be like, and I have to get them all.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks Hasbro for. I should just have like a siphon connected to my bank account to Hasbro and just be like, just take something and then just send me
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But uh, yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next couple of months. Like next week, Shang Chi. I'm looking forward to
Shang-Chi
that, and then the
and
Eternals. Hawkeye at some point.
Yeah,
Um,
probably October Hawkeye, I would imagine. I would imagine they do Shang-Chi, Hawkeye, Eternals,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Ms. Marvel. If they can fit it all in.
Well, they're saying Ms. Marvel 2022 now, so I'm guessing that's going to
Oh,
be January-ish.
boo.
Well,
Boo. You
we're getting Spider-Man in December. Give it a little
know,
bit, and then
yeah.
it's definitely.
And they're not
I
rush at all.
wish I wish we were getting this much from the Star Wars side of things.
Mhm.
I think 2022 we're gonna start getting those stuff.
It's gonna happen.
Well, we're getting Visions. What am I talking about? Visions is coming out next month, so that's
Yeah,
cool. But you know, what if is still going? We still need to talk about what if.
yeah, definitely.
So, yeah,
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We had quite a few people in the chat. I really appreciate everybody coming in,
yeah.
and most of us really appreciate it. I should say, not just me.
I
And,
also appreciate.
yes, exactly. We're so appreciate that. And thanks to everybody who watched this video today. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
And
I've one from yesterday coming. I've been playing around like I have a new camera, so I've been trying to figuring out things. But if every one I'm going to improve things. The
yeah,
audio in the next one's kind of weird because I tried something different. So,
sounds good. Sounds
but
good. Yeah. So watch out for more park vlogs from us. So and from Rich. You are most welcome, DC. Thank you
yeah,
for
thank you.
coming. And we do this every Thursday after wing night at Two Tiny Wings has their wing night from 5:30 to 6:30 Pacific, and then we do 6:30 to on. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed already, we would love it if you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and do like this post. It really does help your favorite content creators know that you appreciate them, and we appreciate that. And with that, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Catch you on the flip side.